Hey, well, just one thing before we get started. And yes, Charlie, we are having internet problems. There's been a big storm through here and it will cut us off. If that happens, we're just going to stop the program and we'll come back to Repairman scheduled. Unfortunately, it's Wednesday. So let's get started on Truth About Lie Angles and What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary here. And why is it What's in My Drawers? Because Old Club Makers Club Fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I'm no different. It's about what's in my drawers way over there. And we talk about golf club repairs, golf club reviews, and golf club fittings. Also, your scores can go low. And that was funny. I'll tell you in a minute. And if you would, like, subscribe, hit that bell down below, tell your friends about it. Let's get this party started, right? Let's do some of that. Now, if you guys may have noticed, let's see if I can make this happen. Is it going to go? No, watch this. All right. I got a new camera. Look at that. I got a new camera and it sees all my flags that I've got up there. Okay. So, Truth About Lie Angles. Let's go with that first, and then we'll talk about what we're doing. So I made a really quick video on lie angles for you guys. It's about 4 minutes. Hopefully you guys can hang on and watch it when we get all the way through it, and then we'll start talking about it. So Truth about lie angles. Does lie angles really matter in a golf club? Let's find that out next. All right, so lie angle. What is lie angle? Lie angle particularly is really mentioned a lot on irons. However, there a specification. It's on every golf club: putters, drivers, fairway woods, irons, wedges, all of it, right? And it is the measure of the angle from here to here. All right, from here to here. And why is that important? Turf interaction. That's pretty much the biggest one. Now, some will say to move the placement of the hit. I say that's a byproduct, okay? Because if you're going through the turf and you're going through like this and you're towing everything and you're toe digging, a couple of things can happen. You can go like this or you can go like that depending on where you want to go. But as a whole, you will probably go like this. Now, if you're here and you go and do it, chances are you'll flip down. How do we know that? Well, if you go to the driving range. You go to the driving range and they have those really thin mats, right? And you stripe every last one of them. And you're like, wow, I'm really hitting well. And then you go to the golf course and then you can't hit one straight to save your life. They're all flaring off onto the right if you're a righty, and they're going away. Why is that? That's because on those small hard mats, you've been hitting the heel and it's been shutting the club down prematurely in order to make that happen. We go, hey, Jim, that's a pretty good thing, right? Well, yeah, it's all grand on the mat, but if you're not hitting off of mats out on the golf course, which if it's that hard, you want to watch out for that. But it doesn't act like that, right? You hit diggers, lots of turf, your wrists hurt, shoulders hurt, elbows hurt, everything else. So you want to get it as much into the middle as possible. The truth about lie angles. My buddy Bob, my playing partner, was looking for a new set of irons, and we wanted to make sure of the proper lie angle. Now, the clubs we tested are from Callaway. They're the new Smoke AI HLs, and we're using 7 irons. Now, lie angle becomes more prominent, I would say, just starting after the 7 iron, 8, 9. Certainly in the wedges, it's absolutely paramount to be correct. As they get a little taller, say the driver, the fairway woods, that kind of stuff, maybe not so much, but as lie angle could be that thing. Say, okay, so here we go. This is the standard, and then this is the up, and then this is the flat. Now, if we go back to the tables and we exclude a couple, let's just exclude that one, and we'll exclude that one, and then we go back down to this one, and we'll exclude that one. And we'll exclude that one. And then we'll exclude That one, he always had one in the 130s and then one in the 140s. All right, now let's see what happens. Well, same thing happened except for the numbers jump up about, another 5-6 yards. 155, 156, 152, 153, 150, 151. Now let's see what they look like in here. And there we go. So we have the standard, which is basically down the middle. We have the left that is going all the way to the left. And then his flat is the one that he pulled a little bit more. And we have some that were over here. So does lie angle make a difference? The answer is yes. Yes, it does. All right, so lie angles, right? As we saw, Bob was working on his, that the upright went really left. The standard went right down the middle, and the flat was kind of all over the map. If we saw some other ones, there was other ones I took off that just went way, way right. But they weren't very good hits, so they weren't good examples to show you. But what it really does go to show you is that the quality of the hit is paramount when you're talking about the lie angle. Okay, now we can go on. There'll be a video of this coming on probably later in the week, and we're going to talk about it. But again, if you have this guy and we put this guy on it and we have it sitting right here and you just turn it just like that. It's just a little, there's a couple of degrees, right? It does move, but if we take it off and we put it on this guy and we go and put it down here and we go the same amount, see, it just moves. It moves so much more. And that's why in the wedges that it's very, very important. Or as the loft of the club gets larger, that this lie angle becomes more important. Okay, so and to take that into account, I rebuilt a set of one length. Now I got to tell you, if you see me looking up and away, I'm using this new camera, and it sits like right here. Okay, and and the one I'm used to sitting is sitting way back here. And so we've done this for so long, I've been looking at that. So I'm trying to figure out how to get into this one and stay there. All right, so high loft more or lie angle is far more important. Okay, and now there's one other thing that we didn't talk about, but it's a different specification, and that's the bounce. Okay, we're going to talk about bounce on another one, because bounce in of itself is again another very important specification when choosing irons and choosing wedges. Right? It's just that important. So look for the video a little bit later into the week, and where I expand more on what you just saw. Now, special announcement time. Cleveland, as you know, sent me some stuff to review, and tomorrow's review is going to be on the Halo iron, the Halo hybrid, and the Halo high wood. So it's going to be, I can get down here and look at it for you. Here we go. So the Halo iron, there's its face. You notice it's a little lower in profile, a little longer in the blade length, and then it certainly is a monstrous hollow body cavity. And if you look into the face, certainly perimeter weighting, and it's trying to show you that it's got this mainframe technology so that you hit into the sweet spot. And if you look into the back, there's that little shiny piece on the top, which we go here, you get to see on the reverse side of it, that the black piece that's sticking out was that shiny piece in the other one. From a realistic perspective, that's what the 7-iron looks like. Now, all the soles on this thing are different. They get from wider to narrower, have several different rail combinations on them. Kind of easy to hit. Okay. The next one is this is the hybrid. And if you can see, it's got the glide rail technology. It says so right at the bottom, with the big glide, big rail on the middle and the two smaller ones on the bottom. This was a 21 degree, and I have to say I really have to say it felt pretty good. Now, it didn't quite go where I wanted it to go as far as consistency goes. And I think that really has to do with the shaft because it was a very lightweight. It was a profile that would lend itself to doing exactly what it did for my swing. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means not for me. Okay. But the other one was working really, really good. And you'll see that in the stats when we go to show them. Now, the other ones that we're going to look at is the Highwood. And the Highwood is basically their version of a utility wood, right? And it's basically a smaller version, but not by very much, of a fairway wood, but a little shorter and maybe a little flatter than your standard hybrid. Now you see where they're 3+. They come in a 3+, a 4+, and I believe a 5+. And the last one is their driver. They have a regular driver and they have a draw driver. Now, this one I believe is the regular driver. I have them both here and I haven't hit them yet, so I can't tell you too much about them other than I know that one is closed in the face and the other one is not. And that's going to go out there. Now that the embargo is off, I can show you. This is my next test, and it is the Cleveland Zipcore XL. And basically, it is a very long club. Uh-oh, where'd I go? Oop, let's go this way, guys. Here we go. It's a very long club, and I'm going to just turn this thing off. Let's see if I can make it go. There we go. All right, we're all done with that. Now, it is a very long in its blade length like the other one. It doesn't have a massive high profile. This is a super game improvement type club, okay? Super game improvement. And then you get to see the face. I've been hitting it. Been right here. I need to be a little bit better. And it also has a very, very wide sole. It's going to sport the V sole. And this one comes with the KBS Tour Light. I'm going to put this back. There we go. And I'm not real friendly with the KBS Tour Light. I've never done well with that particular model. I do like the KBS product, just not that model. But I have hit it, and I'm about 170 with a 7-iron. Not quite as good as the Halo, and the Halo is graphite shafted, yada yada yada. But they're the same length, so I'm expecting a little bit more out of this thing. Now, I will say I've popped a few out there pretty decent, but not on a very standard. So I'm going to give it a few more shots. I'm looking away again. I'm going to give it a few more shots, and then we'll finish off our review on that one. Also coming up is my Paradigm Smoke stuff showed up, and we put it in there, and within minutes, I think I set a record from fitting cart to sale. Gentleman came in and we put the Smoke HL, a high launch, in his hands, and it's a performer. Didn't think it would be, but it is. It's a performer, and it gets up in the air. Tested with my buddy Bob. Matter of fact, today is Bob and Penny's anniversary, so we want to say happy anniversary to Bob and Penny, and thank you for being our friends. And so it's a performer. It gets the ball up in the air. It gets it out there pretty far. I have hit that one in comparison to the regular Smoke, and as one would think for me, that the Smoke went a little bit further. It's about, I'm going to say, on the average of about 4 yards longer. I hit one ridiculously long. I kept it in there just to show somebody. It's just one of those perfect shots, it's 1 in a million. But I nuked it pretty good. But the rest of them were on average in the same spot, right? They're in the same spot. So that's what we want to see, and we want a consistency, a very tight pattern. The iron swing's starting to come back around, but it has changed. I will tell you that. Now that I've used I think what it is with these larger grips, although I like them, I think it took out a little bit of wrist. Oh, it's starting to watch me again. Is it going to go? Nope. It took out a little bit of wrist action in order to do this, and that caused me to have off-center hits. So I've gone to these smaller ones, and I've included a lot more wrist action, and I think I'm coming in a little bit flatter, and it's making the ball, actually I'm hitting it a bit straighter now. I will have a stereotypical pull, and that's an over-the-top move really for me, but that's just what it is. Okay. And by the way, on the PGA Tour, if we get to the PGA Tour, and we had a winner on the Sony Open, I believe it was, and I was just listening to the results of it on the car in the truck on the way to work, and it was funny that the guy that won it sunk a massively long putt, and where the other guys had much shorter putts and missed them. I mean, that's just the bottom line. They all played excellent, but when it came right down to it, it was putting. And of course, you're going to see this get wore out, but the guy was using a lab putter. So get ready for a whole lot of, I would imagine you're going to see a lot of those hit the tour just because of what they do. So be prepared. Okay. Let's see. Can I show you anything else? Hopefully you guys like the Mizuno videos. I think the 245 came out, was very, very, very nice. I do like the profile of that one. I hit it just fine. That was my very first iron of that type this year, with a shaft that I didn't think I was going to like, but it turned out it worked pretty good. The other one in the blade had the KBS Tour light in it, and not real friendly, but it was really scary how I was finding the middle of this doggone club face with those really supposedly hard to hit irons, and here I am doing it. And then when I get with these longer blades, I don't know if it just feels like I can just swing out of my shoes or what's going on, but the strike position is not nearly as precise as the first two. So we're going to have to play around with that a little bit. All righty. Let's go get some comments. And again, I apologize in advance if we lose our internet. Know that we'll be back next Monday. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay. John Lamb, not much to say this week. Hunkered down in the house. It was I'm going to say minus 50 with the wind chill, about minus 58. So we just laid low in the house. Now it's warmer. Time to start some vehicles and see the drama, no doubt, right? All right, salute. Yeah, we got so this weekend, how it went for us. I went for what? There's the so Saturday we looked at the weather, and Sunday was supposed to be brutally cold. And we, as you guys know, I like cooking out, and we said, okay, let's do it Saturday. And Bob and Penny over, and we did some smash burgers. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, it was warmer by a lot, but when you get hit with 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, that goes away in a hurry. And man, I was just leaning over the griddle, just trying to stay warm. And then we did a brisket on the other grill, and that one actually turned out pretty good. Used a few more pellets doing it in the cold, but that was just what it was. So we're supposed to get into the 0 digits, or into the single digits here tomorrow, maybe next couple of days. So indoors, it's tracking and hitting this week, right? Tracking and hitting this week. Back to the single length. I built some single length there, Cobra, the Forge Tex, for a guy that's a 0 handicap, basically, is a 0.5, and purely by athletic talent alone. And so we gave him a few pointers. He actually hit a little bit better. And it was funny because, and this goes back into my lie angle thing, is that, so they're all the same club, from the 5 all the way down to the sand wedge, lob wedge, same length, same everything. So what I did is I kind of tricked it a little bit, and I put instead of a bunch of 7s in there, I put a couple of 6s in the top 2, and then I put some 8s in the bottom 2, and then the rest of them were 7s, and they're all the same weight within a gram. So all I was doing was I was doing my own kind of flighting in order to help him out. Now, I tell you all this, but what happened really when I said I'd do loft and lie checks with him, and everywhere he said he had a problem, the lie angle was flat by several degrees. And so that was, I'm going to, you know what, let's just fix this now. There we go. We're going to take that off just so I don't look at it anymore. So it was off by several degrees at a maximum of 3 and a minimum of 1 in his problem areas. So now they're all set to the same because they're all the same length. They all should be in that particular area and cleaned up and ready to go. So hopefully that works out for him. All righty, Charlie, here we go. I got one for you. This is the Angel Envy glass. You see the wings. Fortunately, this is Handy and Schiller's Old Fashioned and with Buffalo Trace in it. Very good indeed. All right. Does frequency matching a set of irons give each a more consistent feel from one iron to the next? Does this get weight tolerances between more consistent? Okay, so Charlie, so frequency matching is a feel thing to be sure, and it's a performance thing. So obviously they're not all the same number going across because frequency is a measurement of length and cycles together on a chart. So if you had a chart, this is length and this is the frequency. There's another line out here. The frequency. There's another line out here that's actual flex. And when you get the two together, you hit on that line and it tells you where you're at. So you do that for each club so that each club basically acts the same. Okay. Now, traditionally, if you weight sort, let's say if you have all 370 tips, right? They're all parallel. If you weight sort, it tends to find itself out. Normally, the heavier irons tend to be a little bit stiffer, and that's just because there's that much more stuff. Now, I'm talking in grams and fractions of flexes, okay? There are some time back in the day, it was really gross. You could have some that were 2 flexes out of spec, all right? And that's the reason why we do what we do now, except for now it's literally a little bit easier in that for us, because the manufacturing has gotten so big or better, that we can, get even more narrow in our results. So yes, what you're asking me. I'm going to guess that Robin is saying they're having internet issues. You are correct, sir. John Cherry, sorry you missed last week. Not a problem, buddy. You can always watch it down there. It's back out there. Welcome back. Hopefully you had a good week off. Uh-oh, there we go. We're starting to slow down already, so that could be a problem. Here we go. Nah, she finally got into the bourbon cream. All right, Manuel. Well, I hope it gets back. And no golf this week, just busy with building and fittings. Well, good for you, bud. Saturday was only a wedge fitting, and that turned out to be something really cool. And the rest of it was doing testing. So it's been a very productive weekend for us. There we go with this. Chris Ward. When using lead tape to determine the right swing weight for a new set of irons, should it be applied around the hosel area where the tip weight will eventually be installed or elsewhere? Oh, wow. Personally, I would just put it across the, I would just put it like right here. Just put it right there just for the ease of doing it. Because when you go to put it, it's going to be setting, the actual tip will probably be sitting somewhere right about here, because this is, you're going to start from right about here, and it's going to get into about right about there. And so if you're putting it across here, the impact is not identical, obviously, because it's not in the same spot, but it's a better measurement of it. All right. What do you say, Mr. Peter? How are you? Hopefully you're staying warm. I mean, the whole East Coast is getting hammered, so maybe you as well. Mr. Dean, how are you, buddy? Glad to see you on here. Yeah, whatever. John. Robin's talking to people. Look at that. We've got her, she's sitting on a computer another 2 rooms away just in case. So hopefully this works out good. Everyday golfer, good day from Australia. Well, thank you. This is early morning for you. Well, thanks for joining. Duke. Oh, you know what I also realized is that there's an NFL game for those of you guys that watch the NFL. Should be about halftime in that blizzard-like condition up there in Buffalo. So that's pretty funny. Okay. Hi, Robin and Jim. It's been a while. Life gets crazy. We understand completely. Do you think technology and shafts change that much from year to year? What is your favorite older shaft? I think technology from year to year on shafts really doesn't change that much. However, there has been a leap in the last couple of years with this call. It's not high toe, it's called high tow. And it's not necessarily it is a method of which the shafts get woven. All right. It's all about the pre-preg, which is a flag that's wrapped around a mandrel in order to start the shape of the golf shaft. All right. And how that you will see if you look at them, they have grain, right? They have grain. And they can have grain that goes this way. They can have grain that goes this way, this way. And then they have a weave. Okay. That weave goes around. And it's that combination of these things that is what separates the manufacturers. Now, there are also technologies on how much epoxy gets put on each strand of graphite before it becomes pre-preg. That's also a technology. That was something here in the last, say, 7 years maybe, where they went from just glopping it on there to being very, very deliberate about how they do it. In fact, they're calling, when you saw stuff like in the micro, they started words with micro, or down into the molecules, where they're looking down in the molecules of it. That's to say something. That is a technology. And then what you do with that technology will vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. For instance, Fujikura is lighting the tour on fire with the Ventus shaft. All right, the Ventus shaft has a VelociCore in it, and they have some without and some with. The VelociCore is that kind of method that it's not something inside the shaft, it is something inside the weave, or the way the pre-preg is on there, that gives that shaft that different feel. Okay. Now, and it's a really, really good shaft. Now, traditionally, Fujikura likes shafts that are very butt stiff. Okay. They're butt stiff. And that's the way they like to design their clubs or their shafts. Okay. That's just what it is. And so far they've been very, very successful with it. Now we'll go to something like Accra. Accra is a golf shaft company that supplies to guys like me, club makers, right? They have a wide variety. They have 3 different models to choose from. And within these models, each one of them have different profiles, where in the I series, it might be a slightly softer butt section when considering the other 2 that you have to deal with. All right. Now, they just firmed up that butt section this year or last year in the I series, but just fractionally. Okay. Now, they have their FX series, which is a totally different profile, much more stout. And within the 3, they got a high, medium, and a low ball flight, but they're all much more stout. Except in the high ball flight, it's a softer butt in order to get everything going on. And then they have their TZ line, of which It's just it's very, we'll say it's very pro-like, right? It's a soft midsection with some very soft or very hard butt and tip sections. Okay, that's just parts and parcels of that. Graphite Design, same way. They have several different uh, several different models of shaft, uh, but if you look at how they grade them in their, ones, twos, threes, pluses, and fours, you'll see that there's a pattern there, and it's just something that those companies are used to. Okay, there's something that they're used to. Now, going through all that, what's my favorite older shaft? Well, if I had to say my favorite older shaft was probably one of two. One of them was the original Diamana Blue board. I really, really like that shaft. Now, if you were to profile it, it would look almost identical to the Aldila NVS, the copper colored shaft, except for the bend point was about this much higher. And so it had a totally different feel. It was really kind of weird. And because I tried them both, and the Diamana just felt, just light years different. My other one was one that's not even made anymore. Is by SK Fiber, and there was a red one, and it was a very nice shaft too. I rocked that shaft. It was pretty doggone nice. So yeah, that's what we went with. Okay, everyday golfer saying hello. Jim, can you ping IS irons more than 3 degrees? Nope. Not necessarily. No. Uh, on a lucky occasion, yes, but not without some sort of physical damage to the body. Those ping as a tradition, ping is it makes a club. They cast a club that is extraordinarily hard. And on tradition for me, when I bend them, a degree and a half max, a degree and a half max. Now, I have gotten lucky in the kind where there was some relief on the back of the heel that I was able to get more, but I'm gonna chalk that up to pure luck. All right, because I don't want to go any further because I'm afraid I would break the club. And as a rule of thumb, cast clubs 2 degrees, forged clubs 4 degrees, and those are cast clubs. So there you go. There's our man Jay. How are you, sir? Brody Rethmel. How are you, sir? Northeast Iowa. You are covered up, brother. I've been watching pictures. Oh wow. Had been a while since you watched up. Catching up past couple of days while weather is out. Yeah, blizzard, no doubt. You're welcome. We're in the eastern part of Iowa because we lived in Cedar Rapids before coming here. So that was pretty cool. All righty. John Lamb, James or Charlie Bartholomew. I have a good friend who is a fitter. He is aligned with Wishon He aligned with Wishon many moons ago and did an MOI on my clubs so he could learn. Each club felt and swing the same. Try it. Yeah, MOI. Yeah, Wishon is big with MOI, and in order to do MOI matching, you need an MOI machine, and I just never. And the MOI machine has actually changed very, very much since its first inception. In the first inception, you actually would put it. You would. It had a thing where it would go into the weep hole of the grip. Okay, weep hole of the grip, and then you would swing it like this, and that's how it would measure moment. Now you put it on the machine, and you measure moment like this, and it gets in there and it just moves and it measures a moment. So it is very, very neat, and he believes in it very strongly. Uh, does it work? Yeah. I've got another guy here in Dayton that I've done some, he and I teach each other some stuff, but he is all about moment of inertia also. And and what they do is they normally compare it against swing weight. Okay. And when they do it, when they compare it against swing weight, there it becomes a apple oranges kind of thing. And so, do I think it works? I do, to an extent, just like I think swing weight has its place to an extent. All right. Did it help the consistency? Well, it should. It should. Look at there, Mr. Zeller. How are you doing, buddy? Glad to see you made it on. Mr. Tom is a PGA professional up in the Chillicothe region. Good man. He's a good man. So, yeah, he's glad to see you made it on, buddy. I know you're not, everything's frozen solid here, so hopefully you're staying busy in the cold. Ranji, staying warm? Barely. Just barely. I had to break out my Elmer Fudd, which is basically it's a wool ball cap, and inside of it are sewn in our ear flaps, so they come straight down and they cover. And as a whole, I never really appreciated it much until this year. And it must be an age thing because, man, it was great. Covering up the ears was awesome. All righty. John saying very much he got his confidence, went way up. He knew that each club would swing and feel the same. Some folks who don't care for it, he lost his shop with the downturn, so I haven't had that since. Okay. Manual, hit the Callaway AI irons and TaylorMade Q10 irons, both substantial clubs. With the Q10, the ball seems hard off the face compared to the 790. Still good, just firmer. The AI is much softer and feels better on the face. And those are the real deal for 24. I would really like to get my hands on some that QI stuff and just see what it was all about. Are you doing Emmanuel? Are you doing the proponent stuff, or are you doing doing fitting carts and whatnot? I'd like to know that. Pooey shot a 66 for 16 holes today. 2 holes closed due to course redesign. In the mid-30s Fahrenheit, so seemed to resolve the Cobra adapter issue by using GolfWorks adapter policy. Oh, good. I'm glad it got to work for you. Very good. Very good. Glad to see that's happening. Dangle Shangle. We're in Southern Ohio, buddy. Southern Ohio. I'm about, if you were to come down from Columbus and come over from Cincinnati and those two roads meet, that's where I would be. About an hour south of Columbus, hour and a half to the east of Cincinnati, about 25 miles north of the Kentucky line. As I like to tell people, follow the banjo music, go about another 20 miles, and you'll find us. All righty. 752s. Those are nice. They are discontinued now. The group that has with Sean is out of England, and they're a group of super nice guys over there. They're willing to help. They're the GolfWorks version in England. I think they're called Tour Diamond Golf, or at least Tour Diamond. Very nice. They're talking about happy anniversary. And Ozzy and Frank onesie. All righty. Talking to Tom. Steven, what's up? I was using medium jumbo max and was fading the ball, which I never did. So I switched to a small version, and it is working out. Well, you know what? That's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because when we had Bob hitting there, you saw him swinging. And that was with a regular grip. And I asked him to bring his just so we could have a comparison, and he has the medium grip on his, and I have the small on mine. And when I went smaller, but I didn't go back to standard, and it is night and day different. And so what I did was, of course, I got all my fitting irons back here, and it is moving, isn't it? Or is it? Yep, it is. How about that? Anyway, once we played around with the grip size with my trial clubs, and we fell on what they have is their junior size, which is slightly larger than jumbo. And I think that's where we're going to go for him. We wrecked in Southern Ohio? What the heck does that mean? Oh, okay. All right. Nice up in Cleveland. Very cool. Tangle, the set he was just talking about is being shipped to Cleveland. Yes, it is. Good guy. All right. Chris Greenslade. How we doing, buddy? Hopefully I said that right. I apologize if I did not. It's Chris from the UK here. Just thought it was cold here, but hearing minus 58, I thought I would get my shorts back on. When you guys talk about their scores, is that gross or net? Love the show. Most folks here are talking about what they actually shot, Chris. Charlie hits a pretty good ball. Matt hits a phenomenal ball. The rest of these guys, we're all about in that same league. I think if you put us all in a league, everybody would be within a shot or two of each other, which would make it fun. Except for, we'll go back and get him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Except for Peter. I'm looking for you, Pete, but I don't see you right off the top of my head. Except for Peter, that dude's got scores, man. He can go low. And he just hits the ball well. So there we go. Chris Ward saying thanks to being welcomed. Simon Haywood, how are you, sir? Simon, Australia, can you show me your 460 3M epoxy? It's 420, Simon, not 460. And I have to be very particular because they have several different codes for several different kinds of epoxy. We have the 810, which is what's used on tour because of its quick dry, and 420 and that was the one that 3M made specifically for golf clubs, and it has a longer work time. Now, what I'll do is I'll have, if Robin's listening, Robin, if you can go get that off of the bench, and we're on a bit of a time delay, even from her to me to her, then we'll get it to you. So stay with us for a little bit. Raymond Penna, how are you, sir? 21-0, huh? Who is it? Is it? I'm going to go with it's probably the Bills, but we'll see. We were just discussing how that was probably real football when you got to play through, 6 inches of snow and land on the tundra. Holy cow. Trevor Dandy, afternoon. Well, afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for showing up. Bills are leading 21-0, about 2 minutes left in the half. Woo-wee. Here we go. Steeler fans, you better start waving the towel. Nano. That's what I was trying to think of, man. Thank you. Nano. When you're talking about when they're nanotechnology, when they're getting down to the molecules, about the application of the epoxy that goes on the strands of the graphite, and they're getting down to, bonding them at that level. So it was really impressive. That's the reason why actually you're starting to see some lighter golf shafts out there that are pretty strong. All right. Dave Brozowski. Hello, McGolfers. How are you, sir? Glad to see you're here. The old Grapholoy Blue. Yes. Grapholoy Blue was nice, but you're right. It was a pole. They were all poles of the Graphite Blue. Now, remember the blue and gray one? That one was a really good shaft for a lot of golfers, too. They did a very good job with that one. Oh, here it comes. I told you she would hear me and we would do it good. Hold on a second. Okay, partner, here we go. Let's see. Go back up into this one. Simon was asking us about this. So here goes, Simon. That's what it looks like. It's 3M DP 420 and black. All right. I don't know there you go. Hopefully that helps. I put dates on when I receive them on there so I don't go over, because they do have a shelf life. Thank you. And And the 810, if you decide to go with 810, there's a black, there's a tan, and there's a white. You don't want the tan and you don't want the white. You want the black. In both cases, you want the black. All righty. Yeah, the Grafalloy blue. Let's go back to that one. The Grafalloy, Robert Arthur was a designer for Grafalloy, and he was the one that had the, if you guys remember, the maroon colored shaft with the gold lettering on it. That was his design. Very, very popular design right there. Johnny Hirschberger, what do you say? How are the UST Link shafts? I've been reading some buzz about them. Thanks. Well, I've had really, really good luck with them in hybrids. That's my only experience with them, Johnny. I've not had them in a driver. I've not had them in an iron or anything like that, if they make a model for that. But the Link for a hybrid, which I'm going to have to say it's probably a hybrid shaft, is working really, really well, and they work really, really well in the Mizunos. Saying hey back. All right, the old Elevate 105 now discontinued. I hard stepped the S one time. What is available now that might have the same blah, 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 you know what I mean, the same feel and launch characteristics? Well, I don't know if they're still available, but they came out and they changed from Elevates to 105s to 85s, 95s, MPHs. If you could find a 105 in that nature, it would be very, very, very similar. If I had to guess, John, if you could find a dynamic gold 105 and soft stepped it, you probably get the same thing going the other way. Or if you saw a dynamic gold high launch, you would probably see something in that particular meaning. So the Elevates really, really took over the place of the Dynalite series from Mac, and they just really added a little bit of extra fairy dust to it, and it was a wonderful shaft. And I think it worked fine. It was a butt section that was a little bit stiff, and it got a little bit softer as it went way down. Now, I don't mean buggy whip kind of stuff about these things. They're very incremental. And I'm trying to think of Modus has got one 105, but it's a much stiffer profile. Oh, okay. The okay, we're gonna have to get rocking and rolling here, guys. I would go back into the True Temper line and look at something in the 105 for a high launch. Jules saying 21-7. At least the Steelers scored. They don't be embarrassed. Good for them. Yep, Polar Vortex came in with a vengeance. We were even asked to limit our electrical usage so the grid didn't go down. Lots of space heaters running, methinks. Yeah, we ran into that. I've been a victim of the Polar Vortex myself. New Hampton area just north of Cedar Rapids. It's about an hour and a half. Okay, very cool. I actually kind of know where that's at. Old Fujikura Pro XLR8 was awesome, especially yellow. Oh, yeah. Very cool. That's a good one, too. Yep. Trevor minus 49 in North Alberta. Wow. That's a stay inside kind of temperature. I have stock shafts and heads, upright and flat for Callaway. TaylorMade Cobra just sends me one of each iron. Oh, okay. Very cool. Oh, I think I just saw. Here we go. And Krister as well. Oh, okay. We're going out, guys. Thanks for the like button reminder. I hit mine. Maine has had rain and flooding. Severe coastal damage. Oh, my. House is still on a hill, so no flooding. Well, very cool. I'm glad to hear that you stay safe there, Ron. We want you to be good. 21-7. All right. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit of it. The Androscoggin went wild and crazy. Simon Haywood, much appreciated. You're more than welcome, sir. I place shift staffs around 93 mile an hour, 7-iron. No, I would not. I would stay in the stiff range and maybe a shaft that is maybe what would be stiffer than advertised, but I would not go into the X-Flex range unless you were extraordinarily violent. YH, good evening. Is Pro Launch Blue iron shaft good for a senior golfer with slow swing speed? No. Well, it depends. It has 60 gram or 80 grams. 60 gram probably. The Pro Launch Blue, that was the one, that blue and gray shaft that we were talking about. It does have its place, and it is a very good shaft. So yeah, I could go with that. Changed my mind. Just got fitted for a 230 STZ 230, and we landed on that shaft. I didn't have any previous experience with them either. Oh, very cool. No problem. There's Frank. Howdy, sir. How are you? Glad to see it, Mr. YH. Paul Champagne. Well, there you go. Very well done. Welcome. From Maine. You guys are covered up, don't have a whole lot to do, huh? Well, thanks anyway. Hopefully you guys hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get some more of that in here. But thank you again for showing up, Paul. That's what she says. And that's what she says. And there you go. Okay, guys, we're going to end this a little early because we look like we're fading in and out. Again, thank you. Watch for tomorrow's video. It'll be on the Cleveland stuff. And again, we'll be back on next Monday. Hopefully the internet's way, way better. And please take care of yourself in these storms that are out there, Iowa all the way to the East Coast. I mean, watch what you're doing out there. I know you guys are used to the snow, but snow is never forgiving. And as always, guys, let me get to my thing before I tick it off here. Oh, look here. I should have put this on there. Thanks for watching. Let others know about the content. Invite them. Remember to like and subscribe. How's that? Okay. And the last bit of it, I know, look how unprofessional this is. Again, guys, thank you so very much. Be safe and enjoy, and let your scores go low.